Question for both. Is the Talmud the word of Allah? The Quran says it is in Surah 532, and which quotes Sanhedrin 37:13. But there is no prophet between Isa and Muhammad, so how could this be?
Can you leave that question on? Sorry.
So they're asking if the Talmud is the word of Allah, because the Quran quotes from it in Surah 532, chapter 5, verse 32, quotes from the Sanhedrin, but no prophet was given the Talmud, so how could this be?
Do you want to go first, David, or me?
Go ahead. I might not disagree with you.
Okay, yeah. No, we don't believe it quotes from the Talmud. Parallels don't equate to quotation.
Well, that's actually an interesting case. I'll be quick, but that's actually an interesting case because the claim in 532 that if anyone kills a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind. That's in the Talmud. That's not in the Torah, but it's from a commentary of a rabbi who was commenting on the Torah. He actually said, based on the story of Cain and Abel, where it says that your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. He points out that in Hebrew, it's actually plural. It's your brother's bloods. And he says, so what God is really telling us there is that it's not just talking about you killing him. It's talking about you killing all his future descendants with him. And so that's a commentary. That's him drawing a conclusion. That's a rabbi drawing a conclusion. And yet his conclusion ends up in the Quran. And I would say this is further evidence that the author of the Quran is hearing things, why they call him the ear, but doesn't know. He can't tell the difference between the Torah and the Talmud and any other sources because he's just listening to what people are saying.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The claim is that the Quran copied from the Talmud. And they quote from Sanhedrin 37a verse 13. You see it here in front of you. That's what they quote to prove that the Quran copied from the Talmud. And of course they lie about it like they always do. So let's break it down together and see if the Quran really copied from the Talmud or not. As you see in front of you on the screen, this is what they quote from the Holy Quran to prove that the Quran copied from the Talmud. We read in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 32, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من أجل ذلك كتبنا على بني إسرائيل أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا ولقد جاءتهم رسلنا بالبينات ثم إن كثيرا منهم بعد ذلك في الأرض لمسرفون. Which means because of that we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul unless for a soul or corruptions done in the land, it is as if he had slain mankind entirely. And whoever saves one, it is if he had saved mankind entirely. And our messengers had certainly come to them up to the end of the verse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here in the Quran is talking about mankind entirely. If you come to the Jewish Talmud, the William Davidson Talmud, you read in Sanhedrin 37a verse 13, the court tells the witness, therefore Adam, the first man, was created alone to teach you that with regard to anyone who destroys one soul from the Jewish people, here talks about only the Jewish people, not all mankind, kills one Jew, the verse ascribes him blame as if he destroyed an entire world, as Adam was one person from whom the population of an entire world came forth. And conversely, anyone who sustained one soul from the Jewish people, he's talking only about the Jewish people, not all mankind. The verse ascribes him credited as if he sustained an entire world. So in the Jewish Talmud, it talks about the Jewish people only. In the Holy Quran, it talks about entire mankind. The verse in the Holy Quran talks about whoever kills a soul, and what is meant by the soul in the verse in the Holy Quran are the prophets, messengers, and all mankind, while the Hebrew text in the Talmud talks about the Jews only. The Quranic verse says that there is no difference in the legal Islamic ruling between a Muslim and a non-Muslim when a person is killed unjustly. This is based on justice and equality in Islamic ruling between people, Muslims and non-Muslims, and the respect for every human soul. The text in the Talmud actually speaks only of the Jews, and this is racist text that encourages discrimination, injustice, and inequality in ruling between people, between Jews and non-Jew. The Quran here tells the Jews that they distorted the Torah and distorted the laws of Moses. They changed the ruling of Moses in the Torah to suit the Jews only, and what you say is incorrect. It was not revealed to Moses, and that the truth is in the Holy Quran. Actually, the full story is also found in the corrupted Torah, where you can find it in the book of Genesis chapter 4. You read in Genesis chapter 4 verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Christians falsely accuse Muslims of copying from the Talmud, but they copied the entire Tanakh and made it part of their book and called it as the Old Testament. Of course, after distorting it by add, delete, and change it in order to impose the Trinity and Jesus in the Jew. So they have a claim against Muslim, false claim that we copied from the Talmud, but as a matter of fact, they copied the entire Tanakh of the Jew, they made it part of their Bible, they call it as the Old Testament, after they corrupted it just to suit their needs and to impose their Jesus and their Trinity on the Jew. Christians use the Talmud actually to say there are prophecies about the crucifixion of Christ in the Talmud. So you are doing the same thing that you claim that the Muslims are doing. So I hope that this answers your misconception. جزاكم الله خير بارك الله فيكم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته